This is Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski. Here now, Tony Brueski.
There are missing child cases that unsettle you, and then there are cases like this. Cases so bizarre, so psychologically unhinged, so deeply fractured in every direction that you don't even know where to put the outrage anymore. You reach a point where you're not just searching for a child, you're searching for a coherent explanation from the one person who should have been able to give it. And that person in this case is spiraling into a world of paranoia, contradictions, invented narratives, and symbolic behavior so intense that even seasoned investigators don't know what to do with it. We have a 9-year-old girl whose last confirmed moment on camera is beside her mother on a road trip that made no sense, in a wig traveling across multiple states, and then nothing. She vanishes, and the mother who came home without her has refused to give investigators, family, or the public even a single verifiable detail that places this child anywhere on planet Earth. But the part that still leaves everyone slack-jawed is not the timeline, not the travel history, not the plate swap. The real shock comes from listening to Tyler Brewer, the only person Ashlee Buzzard let into the inner chamber of whatever psychological storm she was living in. Describe what she told him, what she showed him, what she did, and how she behaved in the days after her daughter disappeared. And the story he tells is so alarming, so chaotic, and so mentally unsound that you sit there wondering how a system built to protect children can look at this and say, we don't have enough to act. We don't have enough to act. Let's start with the zoo, because nobody forgets the zoo. According to Tyler, this entire nightmare narrative begins with Ashlee looking him dead in the eye and explaining that she handed her daughter over to a couple she met at a zoo. Think about that. A couple she cannot identify, not by name, not by phone number, not by address, city, state, landmark, tattoo, hairstyle, nothing. Just a vague description that they had a daughter Melodee's age and that somehow made them qualified to take in her child for a month or two. That's the moment the floor beneath you cracks, because even if she were lying, even if she were making up the story right there on the spot, which she may be, the internal logic of it is so broken that you know you're looking at a mind that is barely holding itself together. She tells Tyler that the couple kept changing drop-off locations, like you do, Utah, Nebraska, maybe another state, because they were paranoid about being followed. She gives him a tale of endless location changes, panic-driven phone calls, shifting plans, and secretive strangers who might as well be characters from an imaginary novel she's improvising in real time. And then, within the same conversation, when Tyler mentions Utah, the very location she'd just identified, she snaps and says, "How do you know I left her in Utah?" Allegedly. The same Utah she just volunteered becomes a forbidden piece of information. You hear that, and you don't think liar, you think fractured. You think cognitive breakdown. You think someone who can no longer separate the threads of her own story. And then comes the justification for this bizarre handoff. She tells him she's having an outpatient surgery, one he himself had undergone. The kind that puts you out for a few hours and back on your feet the next morning. She tells him this routine medical procedure required her daughter to be sent away with strangers, like some kind of long-term foster arrangement run by people she couldn't even call afterwards. That's not logic. That's delusion, trying to prop up a decision that has no rational basis. And if you think it stops there, you're wrong. But wait, there's more. Because the next thing she allegedly tells him is how to order fake license plates. Not something most parents keep in their back pocket. She tells him where to get them, how to use them, how to swap them out. She even claims she's done it before. She tells him a friend who has Melodee taught her how. That's not just paranoia, that's operational paranoia. That's the kind that has taken root and grown behavior around it, and investigators later confirmed the rental Malibu was wearing a New York plate during the trip. So suddenly the most unbelievable part of her story now aligns with evidence. She says she could swap plates, and the car shows signs that she did. So what parts of the story are real and what parts are make-believe? Then Tyler steps into her house and sees something that didn't even compute in the moment. A pillow dressed in Melodee's hoodie and pants, sitting on the couch, surrounded by photos torn from missing persons posters. Not taped, not displayed, torn out of the posters people made to help find this little girl that she took from the street. Arrayed around a makeshift figure made out of a pillow, a symbolic version of her daughter sitting in the living room like a surrogate presence, if the allegations are true. This is the kind of behavior that sends chills even to the most seasoned clinicians, because this isn't scrapbooking. This isn't a cute tribute. This is grief symbolism, ritualistic, dissociative, a parent constructing a physical representation of a missing child who is no longer present. You don't do that if you think your child is with trusted caretakers. You do that when you're psychologically distancing yourself from an absence you cannot reconcile. And while Tyler is processing this, she allegedly begins accusing him of things that make no sense. She thinks he's undercover law enforcement. She believes her house is bugged. She believes she's being monitored, traced, hacked. By whom? No, she can't explain that part. But she's certain someone is watching her. She cycles through these beliefs with increasing intensity, bouncing from suspicion to fear to confrontational behavior. She accuses him of lying about having an office. She says he's pretending to be someone he's not. You can almost hear the gears grinding inside her mind as she tries to make sense of whatever internal storm is taking place, and the digital purge begins. She says that she's deleted her Amazon account. She says that she's deleting emails. She's deleting her bank access. She's doing everything she can to erase her digital trail because she believes someone is coming for her. I don't know if that's guilt, but it certainly is a collapse. A mind trying to eliminate anything that could be used against her, not because it will, but because she can't separate imagined threats from real ones. She hands him her house keys, hands him her storage unit keys, tells him she expects to be arrested soon and wants him to empty her home. She's planning for a future she claims she has no reason to fear. The contradiction alone would have set off alarms for anyone with training in mental health intervention, but the law doesn't care about contradiction. The law cares about imminent danger, not unraveling. Then comes the most damning line of all. Tyler says that when she was compared to Casey Anthony, a woman associated with one of the most notorious child fatality cases in American history, Ashlee doesn't break down. She didn't deny it. She didn't recoil in horror. She joked, "At least I'm not out partying," allegedly. That's not the response of someone living in reality. That's someone whose emotional connection to the gravity of the situation has snapped. And then Tyler asked her the question everyone else has been asking and dancing around. Did you harm your daughter? Did you traffic her? Did you kill her? And she does not answer. She doesn't say no. She doesn't say yes. She doesn't say anything. She deflects. She cries. She performs. But she doesn't answer. She acts offended. And silence in a moment like that is louder than any confession. Then the situation escalates. The box cutter, the locked door, the repeated calm requests to leave, the tension, the fear, the sense of unpredictability in the room. He says she blocked his exit, locked multiple locks, held an open blade, and even after the judge dismissed the charge, even after the recording played, what Tyler describes inside that house is not something investigators can ignore, but the judge did ignore it or minimize it or didn't see the context of a woman in a full-blown mental breakdown. When that charge vanished, the ankle monitor came off and something shifted. She started packing fast, big boxes, appliances, household goods, all while refusing to tell anyone where her child is. Tyler says she told him the boxes contained Melodee's belongings, clothes she outgrew, except they were the size of clothing Melodee would wear right now. She packed those too. And more boxes came. She cleared space. She moved like someone who was trying to get out before something caught up with her. And the brutal truth is this. Everything Tyler witnessed, everything he describes, is a portrait of a mother undergoing psychological collapse right in front of him. Paranoia, delusion, contradiction, symbolic rituals, fear-based planning, disorganized thinking, emotional volatility, narrative fragmentation, a complete inability to track reality. And through all of this, the system, the law, the protective infrastructure for vulnerable children cannot touch her, because none of this, not a single one of these deeply disturbing behaviors meets the legal definition of imminent danger. The threat may have already happened. The harm may have already occurred. The child may already be gone. And because of that, the threshold for intervention is paradoxically harder, not easier to reach. This is what makes the Melodee Buzzard case so horrifying. Not just the disappearance itself, but the realization that we are watching a disaster unfold in slow motion while the one person who knows the truth drifts further and further away from reality. We're watching a child vanish into the cracks of a system that only moves after tragedy is undeniable. A system that will wait for evidence while a shrine sits on a couch in a quiet California home. And if you want to know what it looks like when a child is lost, not to a stranger, not to a predator, but to the collapse of a parent's mind, you listen to every word Tyler Brewer said. And you understand that this case isn't just about where Melodee went. It's about what happens when a parent's psychological breakdown becomes the gravity well that pulls a child out of the world. When no system capable of reaching in is there to pull her back. Your thoughts in the comments section on YouTube. Where is Melodee? Is she alive? Is she dead? Did Ashlee accidentally traffic her daughter? Because there's so many elements to her story that are factually lining up. The license plate, the trip itself. So who's to say that this couple that she met, if she met them, if they're real, saw the collapse mentally of this woman and saw an opportunity to get their hands on a child and they took it? And if there are fleeting moments of reality for Ashlee Buzzard, and she's hitting those, and she's realizing in sparse moments of clarity what the hell she did, it's not crazy to think that she's going to revert back into crazy land to avoid those sort of feelings of accountability for what may have taken place. Pure conjecture. The reality is we just don't know right now. Your thoughts in the comments section on YouTube. Looking forward to hearing them. Please press subscribe wherever you're listening or watching this so you don't miss any of our coverage on this and the many cases we got for you right here. Until next time, I'm Tony Brueski. We'll talk again.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Brueski and the Hidden Killers podcast.